Have you ever stopped to think about what it actually takes to create that perfect vacation? It's not just magic. It's a massive, super complex, and honestly, a fascinating industry. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the whole business of travel and tour operations to show you exactly how your favorite trips get made.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? You're drowning in a sea of browser tabs, just trying to line up flights, hotels, and an itinerary that actually makes sense. It's totally exhausting. Well, that exact feeling of planning burnout, that is the central problem the entire tour operations industry was built to solve. Because a great trip isn't just one thing. It's a puzzle. I mean, look at all these pieces. You've got your flights and hotels, obviously, but then there's ground transportation, sightseeing, activities, and a schedule to tie the whole thing together. A traveler could try to put this all together on their own, but that's where the headache really kicks in.
Okay, so how does the industry solve this puzzle for us? Well, it created a whole system of specialized roles, with two key players right at the heart of it all. If you can understand who they are and what they do, you'll see exactly how a random bunch of travel services becomes a real tourism experience.
This right here breaks it all down with a really simple but powerful analogy. Just think of it like any other product you'd buy. The tour operator is the manufacturer, they're the factory building the product. And the travel agency, they're the retailer, the storefront that actually sells it to you. Let's dig into what each one really does.
So the tour operator is basically the architect of your vacation. They don't usually own the airlines or the hotels themselves. Instead, they act like massive buyers, purchasing tons of rooms, seats, and tickets in bulk from all these different suppliers. Then, they assemble those pieces into a single, cohesive product, the package tour you see advertised.
And that's where the travel agent comes in. They're the experts who face the public, the retailers who connect those manufactured packages with us, the travelers. And hey, this isn't just someone at a desk anymore. Today's retailers are also those huge online travel agencies, the OTAs, that put a whole world of trips right at your fingertips.
All right, so we know the players, but how does that whole manufacturing process actually work? How do you take all these separate services and turn them into one seamless trip? Let's take a closer look at how it all comes together. It usually sparks from a single, really powerful idea or a core attraction. It could be a world-famous landmark, a breathtaking national park, or maybe even a huge cultural festival. This becomes the anchor, the whole reason for the trip. Everything else is going to get built around this one central pillar. So next, the tour operator starts bundling in all the other essentials. They'll lock in contracts for blocks of hotel rooms, arrange for airport transfers and local transportation, and maybe schedule some other sightseeing tours. They're layering on services to create a complete hassle-free experience that by definition has to include at least your transport and a place to stay overnight. And this isn't just thrown together randomly, it is a serious business operation. Step 1 is all about research and coming up with new ideas. Then comes the really critical negotiation with vendors to get those bulk prices. After that, they have to calculate all their costs to set a final package price. Then they create the marketing materials, the glossy brochures, and finally they push the product out for sale through their distribution channels. And that last step, distribution, it's absolutely crucial. Just like a physical product, a travel package has to move through a supply chain to get from the factory to the customer. Let's follow that chain step by step.
It all starts with the producers. These are the companies that own the actual assets, the planes, the hotel buildings, the cruise ships, the attractions themselves. You could think of them as providing the raw materials for any vacation.
The very next link in the chain is our tour operator, who acts as the wholesaler. They don't typically deal with the public directly. Instead, they buy up those raw materials, the plane seats, the hotel rooms, in huge quantities from the producers so they can get a way better price. The wholesaler then turns around and sells their finished, packaged products to the retailer, our travel agent. That agent now has an inventory of ready-made vacations from a bunch of different tour operators, which gives them a wide variety of options to offer their customers. And finally, the chain ends with you, the traveler. You walk into the store, whether that's a real-life agency or an online travel site, and you purchase the finished product. This entire system is designed to transform 1,000 complicated decisions into one simple, organized purchase, just for you. So, why does all this behind-the-scenes business stuff matter to you? What's the real benefit of this whole manufacturer-to-retailer system?
It really all comes down to this. This quote from our source material says it all. The whole point is to do two things: make travel planning way simpler for you, and, because those tour operators buy in bulk, provide all that convenience at a fantastic value. It's all about removing the friction from travel.
And this brings us to a really important point. Before this system existed, you had travel, but you didn't really have tourism. You had hotels and you had transportation, but no coordinated effort to link them together. This business structure is the engine that transforms a chaotic mess of individual parts into a single, seamless tourism experience.
So what's the big takeaway here? The next time you're on vacation, just take a second to appreciate the incredible machinery working behind it all. You're not just taking a trip, you're enjoying a product that was researched, designed, manufactured, and delivered through this complex global system. And thinking about it might just change the way you see your travels forever.